And this one is a competitive game where players are going to be playing as different tribes with their own asymmetric abilities. But something that's special about this one is that it actually features a 3D play area that you're going to be piecing together by putting together all these little boxes. And the way that this actually plays out in the game is how it affects each player's movement. Because in this game, you're going to be able to take one movement on your turn, but you can actually move as many times as you want as long as you're moving down to a lower level, but then you only get one movement up onto a higher level. So if you start your turn on a higher level, that's going to set you up to move a little bit further. But this is a game that plays over a number of rounds, and at the start of each round, players are going to be drawing a season card, which is going to be granting different bonuses or penalties for certain actions, but it's also going to determine the player order. Each player is also going to get to draw a card that will grant them some sort of bonus for that round, and then players will be choosing their actions in secret, and there's a few different actions that you can take in this game. You're going to have 5 different tokens that you're starting with in order to perform those actions, with each of those tokens being numbered from 1 to 5. This is a game that uses action programming, which means that players are going to be deciding all their actions in advance, and you're going to have to go through them in the order that you assign them to be, and each player is going to be choosing their actions in secret. The different actions are going to allow you to do a whole bunch of different things like move your units, and players do have 2 different types of units in this game. There are the gatherer units that are proficient at collecting resources, and then there are the soldier units that are proficient in combat. Whenever you do get into combat with another soldier, you're going to be rolling dice equal to the strength of your soldier, but if you get into combat with a gatherer, then you just automatically win. And there is also an action to upgrade your units, and whenever you do that, you're going to be adding another token under the base of your unit, and that's going to dictate your soldier's strength, or if they're a gatherer, it's going to dictate the amount of resources that they'll be able to collect. But of course, to collect those resources, there is an action for that as well, and then there is another action that allows you to push your luck by rolling some dice that can end up with some positive or negative consequences, and there are also actions to convert resources into other resources, or even cards or upgrades, or even gaining additional tokens for additional actions later in the game, and of course, you can also gain victory points this way. Once all the players have assigned their actions, you're going to be revealing your boards and then resolving them, and after each number is fully resolved for all players, you're going to be checking if any opposing players' units are in the same location and then resolving the combat there. Defeating your opponent in combat can allow you to gain victory points or to even steal their resources, but there are a few other ways to gain victory points in this game as well. But the game essentially continues like this until that final season is resolved, and then the player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins the game. And if you are interested in this one, I will have it linked in the description below. And of course, you can click to get notified.